Here's Lexie Hull, who does what Lexie Hull has been doing.
Lexie Hull with the drive and basket.
Hull, corner three, she knocks it down. And Lexie Hull delivers.
Hull, three ball good. It doesn't matter what team she's on.
Lexie Hull gets the steal.
Hull, you can't stop her.
Lexie Hull, the league's top three-point shooter.
Hull in the corner. She's got the last 6 for the Fever.
Nice block, Lexie Hull.
Ball loose on the floor. Guess who? Lexie Hull. Here Hull gets an open look, lines it up, and knocks it down.
Church. Well, welcome to Northview. Welcome to all of our campuses. If you are new for the first time, we're just so thrilled that you are honored that you are here, thrilled that you would be joining us this weekend. And just know on the front end, we are far from a perfect church, far from a perfect pastor. We're just real people, some with real problems, serving and experiencing a real God. And so we are not for everybody, but we do believe we are for somebody. And we pray that somebody is you, and we pray that you feel right at home here among us at Northview. So welcome to the party. Welcome to what feels like oftentimes a group Bible study. And someone who we can welcome to the first time here at our church, is Miss Lexie Hull. Folks, can you just welcome Lexie? So excited that you are here. And obviously you are someone who is at the center of so much of our community pride. We are loving what is happening in the Fever in terms of success and just excitement around the city. I think the Pacers is a great experience. I think right now the Fever is a better experience. And anyone just been to a Fever game and you're like, man, that's great basketball. And I think what you girls are doing is great. And shout out to the Pacers. I know some of you are in the room working here thinking, hey, that's my team. But tell me just what has the transition to Indiana been like?
It's been awesome. And I think, I moved here 3.5 years ago when I got drafted in 2022. And I think the first thing I noticed was the community just welcomes me and welcomes the Indiana Fever, everyone that comes in with open arms. So we're really grateful to be here. And as I've been here for 3 years, it's just incredible to see the growth and the growth of the support of our team over the course of the few years. And watching this video, it makes me so excited to be back in Cambridge this season, right around the corner. So it's been awesome.
So tell me about the journey. Spokane, Washington, then to Stanford, national championship, and then drafted to the Fever, teamed up with Caitlin Clark, and now it's like overnight you go from ordinary girl just living passionately, pursuing a dream to now I'm famous, and most of my interactions moving forward. I would say in the Hoosier state, just know anywhere you go around here, girl, you're famous.
Well, thank you.
Folks, is that fair? You are gonna have to hide for someone in this state not to be like, hey, Lexie Hull's right there. So
you're funny.
So talk to me just about, how would you summarize some of that journey?
It's been a journey. I think that's a really just perfect word for it. Being at Stanford, being there for 4 years, my best 4 years, I would say, of my life. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Coming here, first time being away from family, first time playing basketball without my twin sister, so that in itself was the transition. And then also, first year, my rookie year, we won 5 games, lost more games than I'd have in my entire life. So then you add in being alone with losses. It was really challenging. Playing in multiple places, had 2 different head coaches. That whole year was just like, what am I doing? Like, this is not that fun. Now to last year, just the growth of it is insane. And I wouldn't have expected it. It's so awesome because it's been such a journey. And to play in sold-out arenas across the country, to see people with my number on their chest, it's just surreal. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity.
Wow. We became Lexie Hull fans in 2019. Anyone pick Stanford to win the girls tournament in 2019? Yeah, you didn't, I didn't. Someone in our house did, and that was my wife, Kristen, which...
Love you, Kristen.
Yes. And what was funny about it is many of you know my wife, Kristen, is from Iowa, played college basketball, comes from a family of athletes, multiple Hawkeye athletes. So we wear black and yellow all over the place. And so for her to pick Stanford over Iowa, when Caitlin was playing for Iowa, in her side of the family, that was like blasphemy. Like, and our kids were like, how are you gonna pick Stanford over? And it was because, one, she liked you and your sister. And Kristen is a trash talker, and don't judge her for this statement, but when you're talking trash in the heat of competitions, you sometimes say things. And she goes, one day we're watching one of your games and you guys do something, and she's like, bam, pretty girls can hoop too. And I loved it. And that was her bias initially, and now it's funny because our daughter Riley, we were talking about, looks up to you in terms of play. And so sometimes you'll hear someone say, hey, play like Lexie Hull, right? So you are just highly admired in our household. What has been the journey and experience in terms of pressure? I mean, that's gotta be insurmountable. You start to commit to disciplines, habits, routines. You sacrifice a ton. Mm-hmm. There's a burden that comes with your blessing, right? Talk to me about navigating pressure.
It's a big part of the game. And I think, when you're playing early on, you can say that work ethic will get you everything that you want. And there's very much truth to that. But then there's also a piece when you get to this level that mental toughness is an even bigger piece. Because you have people from everywhere commenting on your success and your failures and whether you belong, whether you don't. And so I think you have to believe that you are enough, and you are loved, and everything that you do, your sport doesn't define you. And I think that's something that you learn as you get into this job, is that the season will go up and down, and just to maintain strong, and everything works out exactly how it should, and you have patience in that process, in that journey. And I think that's just something that, as a rookie, you just want to go in and you want to do really, really well. And that's not that easy. And it's a big jump in the level of the play and level of the game. And I think you just have to keep putting in the work and keep working hard, and eventually, things work out exactly how they were supposed to. So just trusting that process.
Yeah, and the fact that you live instantly scrutinized and with instant feedback and commentary that comes with no filter.
Instant, yeah.
Yeah, what was crazy, so we were talking about that commercial I seen. Mm-hmm. Maybe you guys seen this commercial, it was in the Sweet 16 just recently. During the game, there was this commercial that portrayed a college athlete who misses the game-winning shot, and on social media, the entire university cancels the kid. And there's hashtags and just the athlete's experience in a moment, a missed shot that you've worked your entire life to make, you miss, and they're acting as if they're more disappointed than you are. That pressure is frustrating. And so the commercial plays out of this kid being abused socially by his peers. And at the end, it says something to the tune of, folks, please be kind to the athletes. And I thought to myself, whoa, we've really accelerated in some areas in terms of culture. For most of us, we will never experience that type of pressure.
Yeah, I think it's so hard because we're our worst critic already. And then you go online, and a lot of times people are almost as mean. And it's insane because all we're doing is try to put out the best product that we can. And sometimes it's not as good as you expect. So I think just giving everybody grace, and we're doing our best, and sometimes you're gonna love it and we'll hear it, and then sometimes we don't, and maybe we don't need to hear it. But yeah, it's hard. And I think that that's definitely part of the job that you don't really think about, but it's a piece that's there.
Yeah, I think you learn, I would guess, that the critical necessity of attaching the right weight to the right words. Right? When you understand that most words you hear are empty, shallow words. Mm-hmm. That's not to say you live with some jaded view of humanity. It's just to say, no, trust is a real necessity in my life. Who are the people who I am gonna give access, am gonna give authority to say, no, you can coach me, correct me, speak in, because you still need that as someone who's gonna pursue elite goals. It's like, okay, how do you safeguard unhealthy pressure, but then how do you facilitate a productive pressure?
I think I got advice once that I think is really important, and it was only take opinions from people you would take advice from. And if I wouldn't take advice from a lot of the people online that are saying the negative things. So it's hard, but try not to listen or read them or think that they mean anything, because really they don't. You don't care what they have to say if they were giving me good advice or bad advice, so I shouldn't listen to the opinions of them either.
We always try to think of like, how do you give a 4-year-old a pep talk? How do you give a 6-year-old a pep talk? In our household, this was a thing. And a statement for the longest time in our house when our kids were younger was, you can't tell butterfly dreams to a caterpillar person. And that was how we just told it to our kids. Like, some people aren't gonna understand your dreams. They're not gonna understand your goals, but you just gotta go after it.
I like it.
Obviously, you can't be where you're at if you're not a principled person. It takes a great deal of devotion to say, all right, I'm pursuing a measure of excellence. That's pretty daunting. You know, what would be the driving principle in this season for you, where it's like, this is the mindset I'm trying to develop in this season?
I think just being patient. I think that's, throughout my career, that's kind of been the thing that I've really trying to get better at, and it's something you can always get better at, because you want something now. You want something in the moment, in the season that you're in, and sometimes it's not the time. And trusting in the work that I'm putting in, trusting in, you know, the process and the journey of this career, of this season, and in this season of the fever, doing exactly what I can in the moment, but not pushing the limits and not expecting certain things to happen now, because the right things will happen at the right time, and I truly believe that.
Yeah. Well, know that you have a ton of fans and a ton of support, and we're cheering for you, and we believe in you, and we want to see you girls do well. And, you know, it's so funny. We talked about in the back that when you grow in influence, just your function in the community just is different. The average person can just show up to church for the first time and that just be a normal experience. But when you are Lexie Hull, you just can't show up to church for the first time.
I'm not famous. I'm telling you that.
Yeah. Girl, if you would have just showed up without a heads up, you would have derailed this whole experience. There's some idols in this room, and we are some fans, myself included. I would probably step out of worship if I could get my daughter's autograph for you. So God knows where my heart's at. But hey, we're just thankful that you're here, and know that we're rooting for you. And, you know, it was, you know, funny just hearing that you moved into the community, and that, you know, hey, you're gonna come check us out at church. And so welcome to Northview. We're glad that you're here. Folks, one more time, can you give it up for Lexie?